Hello and welcome to Bomber TV. Craig Rouston joining you with our sports scientist Jason Berry. It's a wet old day at Windy Hill, so the boys have moved indoors today to do their training. And so we've got Jason to explain some of the things you're about to be able to see. They're running between these flashing lights on poles. What exactly is that and what's it testing them on?
Yeah, look, the flashing gates are relatively new technology over the last 2 or 3 years, and it's been great for exactly these sort of days. We use it in testing, but also for impromptu sessions like today when we have to come out of the wet weather. What you've seen today is basically the lights are going off at random, so the players are in there in pairs, handballing. So they're working on basically 3 components. Their agility, so being able to move quickly in a tight space, to cut left or right or back and forward. Also their skill, to be able to hit their target with skill or hit the body with skill. And thirdly, to work on their peripheral awareness. So not only do they have to execute the skill, but be aware of what's happening around them. So firstly to avoid the other player that's in there with them, but also to pick up where the other gate is flashing and react to that and get through and get through the light beam.
And they've also got a football in their hand as well, which is, I suppose, is important to take in all those factors whilst actually having awareness with the ball as well. Yeah,
exactly. It looks like a funny type of drill, but in fact, from some of the research that we've conducted in the area of sport expertise, we know that the better players, or the expert players, if you like, are able to do what's called dual task. So if we put that in a football scenario, they can execute their skill, but also be aware of their environment and pick the best options in that environment. And that's what makes up the hallmarks of the very best players. So in a simple drill like this, they're actually doing that in not so much a football specific way, but still having to dual task. So they're using their skills, but also having that peripheral awareness to know what's going on around them. So,
and in the other training exercises, they're just basically building up their fitness. I assume there's boxing, they're doing their sit-ups, they're doing a lot of different routines. I suppose it's just this time of year is the fitness.
Sure, yeah, look, obviously we're hampered by the weather today, so we have certain programs in place for days like that. And look, the bulk of today's session was fitness, but there was as much ball work as we could just to keep the boys in tune with that touch sort of work that they've been doing throughout the pre-season. But now I'm not sure if you'll see it on the tape, but there was a yo-yo test that was conducted today. So that's a repeat sprint test basically. So again, working on the specifics of footy, so where you have to sprint, recover. So pretty good work for an impromptu session, definitely.
Thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the behind-the-scenes footage that you can only see on Bomber TV of the boys preparing for the 2008 season.
Good. Boys. Good. Good. 5 sit-ups. 5 sit-ups. Small targets, Joe. Just have 4 up.